Hi everyone, welcome to Honey Drops Tarot. This is a reading for the water signs, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, and their twin flame connection. Twins, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of your likes, shares, and subscribes. I truly appreciate it. Just a quick note, please do not fall for any scammers. I will never reach out to solicit for a private reading. I do offer private readings, and if you're interested in signing up for one of those or in making a donation, you can find that information in my Buy Me a Coffee link, my official Instagram and TikTok, all listed in the About section of my YouTube page. And I thank you so much in advance. Twins, I hope that you are doing well. If you're unsure of what a twin flame journey is, I've included a link to Gabi Kovalenko's full-length explanation of the twin flame journey in my description box below. I am a twin flame, and I do these readings to help the twin flame collective kind of get a handle on where their twin flame connection is sitting at the moment that they are watching this reading. In a nutshell, the twin flame connection is about two people who share the same energetic soul. So it's this other person, this other being in the world that essentially came from the same energetic fire that you also came from. Not everyone has a twin, and not everyone meets their twin in this lifetime. Purpose of twins is to discover their own spiritual gifts, ascend spiritually, and raise the vibration of humanity. So twins have a tall order and a task that they must accomplish in their life, and that task is fully loving themselves and therefore being able to hold space and love for others. I'm going to be using two decks for your reading today. The first one for the overall energy is going to be from the Wild Unknown Alchemy deck, and I'm using a new tarot deck on my channel today. It's the Maya Land Tarot deck, Collage Tarot deck. I followed her on Instagram, and then she created a deck, and I wanted to support her. So this is for the water signs and their twin flame connection. Angel, spirits, guides, what messages do you have for the twins? Overall energy for this connection. Thank you. Wow, this is amazing. Venus. Wow. Number 4 of the major arcana, which corresponds to the Emperor card, divine masculine, carries the power of all 4 kings of the tarot. It's funny too, because Venus is often associated with feminine energy. I also want to point out that this shape here looks like turquoise and copper to me. Copper being such a amazing healing metal. I wear copper every single day. I wear copper here. I have copper in my ring here. I can't stress it enough, and Spirit really wants me to harp on that. I've worn copper for about 3 years at this point, and knock on wood, I haven't gotten sick. I might have had like a stuffy nose here and there, but I have not gotten sick since I started wearing copper. I sleep with raw copper next to my bed. I can't say enough about it. Could I explain to you what it does scientifically? No. But it's very healing, right? And I see this here. I don't interpret that as gold. I interpret that as copper. It's something Spirit wants me to, talk about that. Sometimes people put copper on their roofs. They put copper siding on their homes. It channels really good energy. I think that you and your twin are channeling very good energy. This is even with the color scheme, it's almost like the color is coming back into your connection. And it feels healing. It feels, like I said, I couldn't tell you what it does scientifically. Sometimes there are things about the twin flame connection that are beyond words, as we know. I've tried so many times. I've done so many twin flame readings on this channel, and every time I tried to talk about what the twin flame journey is, I just stumble every time, because it's a little bit, if you know, you know, that the connection with your twin is beyond words. It's psychic, it's telepathic, it's all-encompassing. And the challenge is to kind of bring everything back to the self and not focus so much energy on your twin. It's very counterintuitive, because often there's a runner-chaser dynamic, and if you're the runner, it's not that you don't want to be with your twin, it's just that you feel so overwhelmed by your twin, by what they represent, by life, by love. If you're the chaser, it's just, how come your twin can't understand how unconditional your love is? It makes total sense to you, but it confounds your runner twin. I will tell you, because I was in separation from my twin for 7 years, no contact for 5, and we came into union this year. Every moment of every day of those 7 years was just laborious and gut-wrenching and confusing, angering, trying every single day to just deal and thrive. How do you thrive when you're dealing with what feels like an eternal longing and grief and confusion over this person, this soul that just doesn't seem to understand the love that you're carrying, or the love that you want to express but can't for some reason. And now that I'm in connection with my twin, it doesn't mean that everything goes away in terms of the triggers. In fact, they're still there. It's just that in the separation period, that's where you learn how to not just cope, but learn, thrive, and heal. And it's one of these things where I've heard, because I'm not a mother, but I've heard that the pains of labor are so awful in the moment, but then when you see your child in your arms, you almost forget the pain and think to yourself, well, I could have another child. I've heard a lot of mothers say this. It's like, in the moment, it's so difficult. But then when it comes to fruition, it's like, oh, well, that was worth it. That was really worth it. So there's something to this Venusian energy that speaks to the absolute beauty of this connection that you have with your twin. That there's a point that you've gotten to where you can see how it is healing. It's like something that you wear in your heart all the time. And your sheer belief in its healing will allow it to heal you. That's what Spirit wanted me to say. That's difficult. But I also feel that so much of the work happens on the inside. There's not a lot of fanfare. There's not a lot, like even with, even in conversations with people, if they're not a twin flame, it's hard for them to understand. How do you explain? Have you tried to? Have you tried to explain your twin flame connection to a friend? And has that friend said to you, you need to get over them. You need to move on with your life. You need to find a way, right? It's so much easier said than done. I think this phase of the journey for you is one, recognizing your own sense of self and your own beauty, but also recognizing how your twin is healing you. It may not feel like it at times. it's when I like to say, we want our twin to succeed. If you're ever feeling jealous of your twin, you haven't learned the lesson yet. We want our twin to succeed. As they succeed, we succeed, and vice versa. Let's get some cards on the table. I'm gonna get a card for you first. I'm not really gonna, I usually pull all the cards out. I'm trying something new. I just want to kind of have it go a little bit more with the flow. You got the Justice card. This is gorgeous. The Libra energy, number 11 of the Major Arcana. Justice card talks about karmic justice and karmic balance. This ladder looks like the kind of ladder that you would climb if you were to jump into a swimming pool. And yet this looks like the whole ocean. And this faint glimpse of a rainbow behind. Just kind of like this. These two. It's almost like I want to do this. It's like, oh. Is Libra ruled by Venus? I don't know these things. I'm not an astrologer. But I want to say Venus and Libra have very close ties. Your twin could be a Libra. You could be a Libra if you're cross-watching. There's something to the Justice card that brings about a lot of peace and calm. Maybe you've gotten to this point where you're just a little bit more settled in yourself, in your own skin, than you have been in a very long time. I just, in the distant echoes of my brain, I heard, I've been carrying the weight for both of us. I don't know what that means. I don't know how you're feeling about that, if that is true, and I don't know how that would be true. What do you mean you've been carrying the weight for both of you? If you're somebody who is still in separation but in contact with your twin, right? In separation means that we're not with them, we're not engaged in a romantic relationship or friendship with our twin, but we could still hear from them from time to time, or talk to them from time to time. Is there something here that you feel you've been doing on their behalf? What would that be, Spirit? Queen of Cups. Cancer, you showed up in your own reading. See how she's looking into, it's like she looks into the mirror and she sees the cup of love, the cup of camaraderie, friendship, compassion, empathy. You look in the mirror and you see that of yourself. So what I want to say though is, you know, have you been giving a little bit too much? Somebody's been giving too much. That makes sense, especially if you're a chaser. I was the chaser. The Queen of Cups can sometimes give way too much, right? Because she's under this impression that her cup runneth over. She has so much in her cup that of course she would want to share. And you share here, and you share there, and you share there. And after a while, you go to take a drink and your cup is empty. So you want to go to the ocean and fill back that ocean of emotion, right? You want to go back and you want to fill your cup again. But it's salty. You can't drink. Very strange, because when, right, this is the alchemy deck. So there's lots of minerals and crystals and all sorts of chemical reactions in this deck. And then the pre-shuffle, the I saw a flash of like salt. The salt card came out, and I thought to myself, oh, that would be so interesting if the salt card came out, because salt can also be very medicinal, but it can also be really toxic. If we have too much salt, we have high blood pressure, and if we have too little salt, then our body cannot hydrate properly, right? There has to be a balance. So that's all coming to me. Spirit wanted me to see that card for a reason, obviously. What is the saying? All this water, not a drop to drink. It's a little bit longer than something water and not a drop to drink. Can I have another one? This is your energy. Feel free to switch it with your twins if you feel like you, once I read your twins' energy, if you feel like you relate more to that pile. Four of Pentacles. I think, yeah. Okay. So you're at this point where you know that you've given a lot. You've not lost, you have not lost sight of your loving heart. You look in the mirror, you see it every day. This is the water signs. I'm a Cancer, so I identify with this. You look in the mirror, and even if this twin flame journey has wrecked you, you have not lost who you are, your loving nature, your empathy and your compassion. You have not lost it. It's difficult, especially people try to take advantage. They try to take too much from your cup, but you have not lost sight of that. However, I think the lesson that you're learning right now is to hold on a little bit. Hold on a little bit to your resources. Four of Pentacles. It's interesting. Spirit's giving me, I work in a very intense and fast-paced environment in my day job. And I recently had a conversation with a beautiful coworker who really essentially had to tell me that I was giving too much and that he didn't want me to burn out. And also that by giving too much, I enable people. He didn't say it like this, but yeah, you can extrapolate, right? By giving too much, I enable people to not do their fair share, not do their part. And this is very true. And a lot of people could say this, right? It's not just me. So lately, and separate from my twin, has nothing to do with my twin. It's just something that is a trigger, right? This need to please, or not necessarily please, but need to show love and feel a sense of worth by giving love. How can we retain some for ourselves? It's absolutely vital. It's a lesson that you're learning right now. And implementing, Spirit wanted me to say. And implementing. You're actually reserving your time, effort, energy, and resources for yourself. You're actually saying no. You're saying no. Let's see what your twin's up to. Eight of Pentacles, working very hard. Very hard on their resources, gathering momentum with their projects. Focused. Twin is very, very focused right now. It's interesting. There's this like wooded scene behind this character. Anytime I think of the woods, it's like getting back to basics, like being a woodsman or a woodswoman, building fires, foraging. All these things are coming to my mind for your twin. Now, they could be doing this in an urban landscape, but I feel like they're trying to build build their empire, build their wealth, build their home, their resources, their nest egg, like you, but in a different way. I feel as though this is more subtle. This is twice the amount of coin. I feel like they're kind of go big or go home energy. Let's get some more. Magician in reverse. Yeah. It's number 1 of the major arcana, Gemini and Virgo. Magician is the power of all 4 suits of the tarot. So, you know, I was talking to you about building. This is a community. I don't know if you can see, but they're like houses. It's like suburbia. A little bit of urban sprawl, Spirit just said. And they're raising that urban sprawl up and trying to channel the cosmos. This is the Master Manifestor. They got this card in reverse. It's this sense that what they tried to manifest before didn't work. As diligent as they were, it feels like your twin, maybe they're, okay, this is specific because Spirit just said your twin feels like they keep coming up short. It's like they're constantly looking, they keep coming up short. They're not actually coming up short. It's just that it's almost like maybe the expectations put onto them, thrust onto them in childhood, put something in their mind that says, you know, I should be doing more. I should be pushing more. Could be a reason for your separation. Your twin wanted to pursue some goals and aspirations and couldn't see how the connection with you would necessarily help that endeavor, which feels harsh. I just heard life is lifing, which usually I don't like expressions like that. They're very not of my generation, but sometimes it just is so exact. Life be lifing. Like it just, sometimes it just gets to us. Our bills, our debt, our responsibility to ourselves, to other people. The hustle, Spirit just said, the hustle. I think it's weird because I have my hand in a fist. I'm like, the hustle. I don't know what that's about. I don't know why my hand is in a fist. I don't feel like your twin is violent or anything. And if your twin is violent, that's not a twin flame. No twin flames are violent. That's not what the twin flame journey is. That's a false flame. If anywhere your twin is abusive or violent, that is not your twin. That is somebody that you have a toxic connection with. Twin flames trigger us to be the best version of ourselves. And we trigger them to be the best version of themselves. But I do feel this emphasis. Let's get another one for your twin. Look at this. Yeah. Number 15 of the major arcana, the Devil. Capricorn energy. Twin could be Capricorn or have Capricorn placements in their chart. This is funny. It looks like this is old-timey pictures. Kind of looks like she could be a Hollywood starlet from like the 1940s or something. Seduction in her eyes. The Devil card is tricky. It can talk about obsession, codependence, workaholism, all the isms, negative self-talk, negative behavior. Your twin is really trying to uncover what is preventing them, what is causing the blockage to their manifestations. And I have a feeling that they've been doing some soul searching. and it could be difficult for them to look the devil in the eye. It's intimidating. One, it's intimidating to admit that you have any of these kinds of tendencies, right? We want to think of ourselves as perfect little humans, but we're not, and your twin is really grappling with that right now. And it's just heard Spirit say, and it's something that you triggered them into. I think it might have been something that you said to them that really set them off. And like I said, when you become if this is your desire, and it's not everybody's desire, but should you desire a union with your twin, and when it actually happens, that triggering really doesn't go away. Because my twin said something to me very casually, and it triggered me. Like, I had to take a few days. But because we're so, he's very intuitive now as well. His intuition is more on point now than it ever has been for an air sign. He knew something was wrong. He knew. He could feel it. He wasn't sure what it was, but he knew that he had triggered me. And instead of glossing over it or ignoring it like we would have in the past, he did not let go until I could express what was triggering me. Because there was this sense in me like, well, things are going so well, I don't want to upset the delicate balance. But it's just like, no, we're different people. We're older and hopefully wiser now, and you can't fall back on old habits. This is falling back on old habits. So I feel as though you might have expressed something to your twin. Spirit just showed me this card again. It's kind of like you speaking to your twin and saying, what do you see when you look in the mirror? Maybe they see something like this. What's the energy of the connection this time? Three of Swords in the reverse. Three of Swords is the heartbreak, heartache card. One of the most difficult in the tarot to grapple with. Disappointment, letdown. Which, whenever I say letdown, I think of the Radiohead song of the same title. Let down and hanging around, crushed like a bug in the ground. Best song ever. When the Three of Swords, sometimes people interpret this in all different ways, and Three of Swords can sometimes represent being unable to move past, because at least if the card is in the upright, we can move past it and get to the next step, which is the Four of Swords, which is the rest and recuperation. So sometimes people interpret the card in reverse as just like being stuck. But today, for some reason, I see it in reverse, and I see all the swords like sliding out. But then what does that leave you with? It leaves you with a heart full of holes. How do we patch those up? How do we mend? This is the energy of the connection right now. How do you mend? How do we recover? Let me ask Spirit for their advice. Ace of Pentacles. Look at this. Look how interesting this card is. Ace of Pentacles. First of all, they're two pentacles, and they're two hands. It's funny because I don't know if the hands belong to the same person. It's weird because I interpret them as they could either be the same person or it could be two different people, which feels kind of twinish, right? Your twin, it's like your twin is not you, but they are you. It feels like the twins are kind of looking for their new beginning. Spirit wants to give that to you, Ace of Pentacles. Introduce you to the possibility of this new revitalized sense of self, this opportunity that could shift the entire course of the journey for you. Whenever the aces show up in the upright, it's great because it marks something new. It's divine. But we always have to be in the position to receive whatever is on offer. I don't know why. This is the most random thing. I'm just going to say it. Spirit just showed me like a little basket of French fries. And sometimes we know the French fries are not good for us. And somebody says, oh, water signs, do you want some? It's very difficult to resist French fries, but sometimes we do. No. I shouldn't eat any. It's not good for me. And sometimes we can't resist. Life is worth living. Life, you only get one. Well, if you don't believe in future lives, but in this lifetime, it's like, oh, life is short. Have the French fry. I don't know why. Spirit is specifically showing me a red basket of French fries. So that could be something that you're eating right now. I don't know. But it's this sense that, like, if somebody offers you something and it's either going to feel like, seize the day, just enjoy yourself. A couple French fries won't hurt. Now, we don't need to eat 10 baskets of French fries, but a couple won't hurt you. Or, no, I'm going to hold my hands up to this and say, I don't want to take that. So Spirit is kind of saying that both you and your twin are at this choice point right now where there could be something on offer for you, and you may be deliberating on whether or not you want to take the next step and to say, thank you, Spirit, I accept, and I'm going to run with it. Because maybe running with it feels a little too scary. Because now I'm seeing these two, these hands kind of offering up. It's interesting too, right? These look like copper. These look like silver. There's something about copper I highly encourage. I'm not a doctor. Not that I think a doctor would say anything about this, but if you can find yourself a copper bracelet, they are not expensive. That's the best part. They're not expensive. Get yourself a copper bracelet and wear it. And Spirit really wants me to say that. There's going to be something, it's going to be very obvious to you when it presents itself, that there's some there's divinity behind something that's going to be offered to you. Could be a new job, could be a new house, could be a new opportunity to move. Really ask yourself, do I want to turn this down? Or is this something that's meant for me? One more for good measure, and then we'll read from the book. Three of Cups in the reverse. Three of Cups in the upright can talk about celebration and kind of clinking glasses. It's a strange image, though, these three children on the beach. They're turning towards the viewer. They look caught off guard. It's strange. I have a feeling that whatever this offer is from Spirit, it might require you to step away from some community or tribe of some kind. This could be a move. Take it as it resonates. Let's read from the book, number 4, Venus. Pleasure, Eros, beauty. With the arrival of Venus, the senses open as if for the first time. It is the planet of pleasure, of touch, of sensual delights. Venus is often depicted as romance or eroticism between people, but it can also be experienced as an all-out love affair with Mother Nature herself. Aphrodite emerging from the ocean is a classic example. Oh, interesting. That's interesting. Aphrodite emerging from the ocean is a classic example of Venus imagery, as is Cupid with his bow. No matter how old or jaded you are when this card appears, it's a sign that attraction is at an all-time high. The laboratory is alight with love. You may be in love with the work, with the materials, with the other person, or with the world itself. Seeing beauty in small moments is a sign Venus is in balance. An obligatory reminder that pleasure and pain are usually found intertwined. That's your reading, twins. I hope that it resonated. If it did, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Please hit the bell notification to be updated as to when I post new readings. Thank you, twins.